They don't call it the king of cheeses for nothing. Parmesan, or Parmigiano Reggiano, as it's known in Italy, isn't just a sprinkle on your pasties, a centuries-old symbol of craftsmanship, quality, and passion. It's so revered in its homeland that nearly 18% of Italy's entire milk production goes into making this one cheese. That's over 135,000 tons a year, handcrafted under some of the strictest food regulations in the world. But here's the catch: not every hard cheese can claim the Parmesan name, thanks to its special PDO-protected designation of origin status from the European Union. Authentic Parmesan can only be made in a few select regions of northern Italy, using time-honored methods that have been passed down for generations. It all starts with the milk raw, unpasteurized, and teeming with natural bacteria. In the heart of Emilia-Romagna, around 4,000 small dairy farms raise cows that graze freely on nutrient-rich local grasses. These happy cows are the unsung heroes behind Parmesan's unmistakable flavor. Their milk is collected twice a day early, in the morning and again in the evening, to ensure maximum freshness. The evening milk is allowed to rest overnight, during which a natural separation occurs. A thick cream layer rises to the top and is skimmed off. This step helps reduce fat content, resulting in a firmer and more structured cheese with that signature crumbly texture we all know and love. Before any cheesemaking begins, the milk undergoes strict quality inspections. Trained specialists test for everything from aroma and fat content to protein levels and bacterial composition. Only when the milk passes these checks is it poured into giant copper vats, each holding roughly 1,000 liters, enough to produce just 2 wheels of cheese. The copper vats aren't just old-school tradition. They're essential for regulating heat evenly, which is crucial when you're aiming for consistent flavor and texture. Once in the vat, the milk is gently warmed to about 97 degrees Fahrenheit, 36 degrees Celsius, which is body temperature, the perfect environment for beneficial bacteria to flourish. To kickstart fermentation, cheesemakers add a special starter whey, a fermented liquid saved from the previous day's production. This whey is full of live lactic acid bacteria that help acidify the milk and prepare it for coagulation. But to get the curds to form, another ingredient is needed: natural calf rennet. This enzyme, sourced traditionally from the stomach of young calves, is what triggers the milk to separate into solid curds and liquid whey. Within just 10 minutes, the transformation begins. Now comes one of the most delicate and visually mesmerizing steps: breaking the curd. Using a giant balloon whisk-like tool, the cheesemaker stirs and shreds the coagulated curd into tiny granules, each about the size of a grain of rice. Timing is critical here. The curd needs to be broken up before the rennet loses its effectiveness, which only lasts a few minutes. Once the curds are sufficiently broken down, the temperature is cranked up to between 127 degrees Fahrenheit and 133 degrees Fahrenheit, D-56 degrees Celsius. This heat helps expel even more moisture from the curds, allowing them to tighten and firm up. Slowly but surely, these tiny curds start clumping together again at the bottom of the vat, forming a massive, rubbery mass weighing over 220 pounds. Skilled cheesemakers, using both strength and finesse, carefully lift this giant curd mass with a cloth and divide it into 2 equal parts. It takes experience and a steady hand. Too much pressure or uneven handling, and the curd could tear or lose its uniform shape. Each half is gently cradled in a linen cloth and placed into circular molds. These molds shape the curd into the iconic wheel of Parmesan, while allowing any remaining whey to drain out. Over the next 48 hours, the wheels settle into their final shape. Each one is stamped with a casein labella kind of edible barcode that allows it to be traced throughout its life, from production to packaging. Once molded, the wheels are transferred into metal molds wrapped with a plastic stencil that imprints the iconic dotted Parmigiano Reggiano name around the outer rind. This branding isn't just for show, it's part of the PDO certification that guarantees authenticity. After imprinting, the wheels head into a brine bath where they soak for about 19 to 21 days. The brine is a supersaturated salt solution that deeply penetrates the cheese, helping it develop flavor and harden the rind. This salty soak also acts as a natural preservative, allowing the cheese to age gracefully without artificial additives. But aging Parmesan isn't just about leaving it on a shelf and waiting. It's a long, painstaking process that takes at least 12 months and, often, much longer. In giant aging warehouses, the wheels are placed on wooden shelves stacked floor to ceiling. These warehouses are temperature and humidity controlled, with conditions carefully monitored around the clock. Workers regularly flip and clean the wheels by hand to ensure even aging and prevent mold growth. The cheese naturally loses moisture over time, becoming drier, denser, and more concentrated in flavor. Some wheels are aged for up to 24 or even 36 months, developing deeper nuttiness, tiny crunchy protein crystals, and a sharp, lingering umami finish that's unlike any other cheese on earth. Before any wheel can be sold as official Parmigiano Reggiano, it has to pass one final test-a-hammer test. Yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. An inspector from the Parmigiano Reggiano Consortium taps each wheel with a small hammer, listening for imperfections like cracks or voids. If the sound is solid and even, the wheel passes. If it doesn't, it's downgraded and cannot be sold under the official name. Only the best wheels, those that meet every criterion, are fire-branded with the consortium's seal and sent off to markets around the world. What makes Parmesan so special isn't just its complex flavor or its rock-solid texture. It's the incredible commitment to tradition, the relentless quality control, and the refusal to compromise at any stage of production. From the cows munching on grass in the Italian countryside to the master cheesemakers breaking curd in copper vats, every moment in Parmesan's journey is steeped in skill and care. No shortcuts, no artificial fillers, just real, honest cheese made the way it's been made for over 800 years. It's hard to imagine a bowl of pasta, a Caesar salad, or a slice of artisan pizza without a generous sprinkle of grated Parmesan cheese on top. But behind that familiar, nutty, salty flavor lies an ancient and extraordinary process that turns fresh milk into one of the world's most beloved and respected cheeses. From carefully shaped molds and saltwater brining to months, sometimes years, of slow aging in vast cheese libraries, Parmesan isn't just made, it's crafted with patience, science, and tradition. So the next time you're dusting it over your spaghetti, you'll know just how much work went into that heavenly bite. Parmesan cheese starts its transformation in large stainless steel vats where fresh, high-quality cow's milk is gently heated and combined with natural rennet and starter cultures. Once the curds form, they're cut and stirred until they reach the right consistency, then pressed into large, circular metal molds. These molds aren't just for looks, they give Parmesan its perfectly uniform and characteristic wheel shape, designed not only for aesthetic appeal but also practicality when it comes to slicing, storing, and aging. Pressing the curds helps expel any remaining moisture, resulting in a denser, firmer cheese. Once formed, the cheese wheels remain in these molds for up to 48 hours to stabilize and lock in their shape, preparing them for the crucial steps ahead. After the molds are removed, the wheels are transferred to a saltwater brine concentrated bath with a salt content of about 16 to 20%. Or roughly 160 to 200 grams of salt per liter. This brining phase lasts for 20 days and plays an essential role in both flavor development and food safety. The salt helps prevent unwanted bacterial growth while encouraging the formation of beneficial cultures that aid in aging. As the salt penetrates the cheese slowly and evenly, it begins to create the deeply savory, umami-rich flavor Parmesan is famous for. It also affects the texture. firming up the interior and starting the formation of the hard outer rind that protects the cheese during its long rest. Once brined, the cheese enters the most fascinating phase of its journey, the aging process. The freshly brined wheels are transferred to enormous storage halls, often referred to as cheese libraries, where they are stacked high on wooden or metal shelves. These rooms are climate-controlled and precisely maintained to allow for slow, controlled fermentation. Picture massive warehouses filled with row upon row of cheese wheels, one quietly aging, its flavors deepening over time. Specially designed robotic arms carefully lift and position the wheels into their spots, ensuring each one is perfectly placed. This smart automation ensures consistency and preserves the traditional integrity of the process while maximizing efficiency. While some cheeses are ready in just a few weeks or months, Parmesan is in no hurry. Each wheel requires a minimum of 9 months of aging, with many maturing for 18, 24, or even 36 months. Some exceptional wheels are aged as long as a decade. During this time, a complex symphony of microbial activity is taking place inside each wheel. Enzymes break down the proteins and fats into smaller compounds, which gradually transform the texture and flavor of the cheese. The result is a crumbly yet creamy mouthfeel, and that signature sharp, nutty, and slightly sweet taste that defines authentic Parmigiano Reggiano. However, this aging period is also the most delicate. Even the smallest changes in humidity or temperature can ruin an entire batch. Mold, dryness, or cracks can spell disaster for cheese that has been aging for years. That's why each wheel is rotated regularly every 15 days, to be exact. In the past, this was done entirely by hand, a labor-intensive task requiring strength and precision. Today, robotic systems flip and clean each cheese wheel with perfect consistency, gently turning them over and wiping the surfaces clean of any unwanted mold or residue. This not only saves time, but ensures each wheel matures evenly and maintains its structural integrity as the cheese continues to age. It begins to develop a rich amber-brown rind and a firmer outer texture. By the 9-month mark, it's ready for its first major exam. Expert inspectors armed with years of experience and a small hammer begin to evaluate each wheel. They tap the rind and listen carefully to the sounds it makes. Believe it or not, the echo of these taps can reveal air pockets, inconsistencies, or imperfections inside the wheel. This traditional quality check is followed by extracting a small sample using a corkscrew-like tool. The core sample is visually inspected, smelled, and even tasted to assess the development of the flavor and consistency. Only those wheels that pass these rigorous tests are allowed to continue aging or move on to packaging. Parmesan isn't just aged cheese, graded, certified, and labeled to guarantee its authenticity. The longer it's aged, the deeper and more refined the flavor becomes. Parmesan, aged 12 months, tends to be milder and more delicate, while a 24 or 36-month-old wheel offers a richer, nuttier, more crystalline experience. One Italian producer even set a world record by aging Parmesan for a staggering 144 months, 12 years. But as with all fine food, aging too long can become a gamble. Past a certain point, the cheese can grow overly hard, lose its melt-in-your-mouth quality, and become more brittle than enjoyable. Like a fine wine or a well-composed symphony, there's a perfect pause that brings out the peak flavor. Once a wheel has earned its official stamp of approval, it receives the Parmigiano Reggiano logo, literally imprinted on the Rinda mark of origin, authenticity, and quality. From here, the cheese enters the final stages of its journey: precision, cutting, and packaging. Huge wheels are sent through automated systems where specially calibrated saws and wires slice them into smaller pieces. These portions are prepared to meet a wide range of market needs, from family-sized wedges to fine shavings to pre-graded varieties ready for sprinkling. The cutting machines are tuned down to the millimeter, minimizing waste and ensuring consistency in weight and shape. Next, specialized shaping machines may transform the slices into smooth wedges, cubes, or even finely powdered cheese. Each format is tailored to how the cheese will be used, whether in pasta, soups, salads, or gourmet charcuterie boards. From there, high-speed automated packaging systems vacuum seal each piece in airtight plastic, foil, or wax-coated paper. Labels are applied with laser accuracy, providing not only branding and nutritional information, but also barcodes that support full traceability, so consumers can track exactly where their cheese came from and how it was aged. And just like that, the journey is complete. From raw milk